Welcome back to another video. It's your boy King Jiffy Coats, and today, boys and girls, we're going to be jumping into Necromunda Hired Gun. Now, this is the game that came out earlier this year from a studio that almost exclusively, I think they're called like STEM something, I don't know, look them up, Necromunda Hired Gun, you know how to Google, I know you're not that dumb, but they almost are exclusively make games for the Warhammer 40k universe. Now, I am a complete noob when it comes to Warhammer 40k. I've seen some of the cool online movies. I've seen some gameplay for the Space Marine game, which I desperately need to pick up because I really want to play that. Also, I need to get Bolt Gun. And I have kind of wanted to dip my toes into this universe for a long time and just kind of see what's going on. I mean, fuck, if it's cool enough for Henry Cavill, it's cool enough for me. Well, so I saw this game on sale for like $13, and I'm gonna pick up a game for $13. If it's an FPS game, it looks like it has cool movement, cool atmosphere, and cool shooting, I'm usually gonna be there. That's the type of game that is my bread and butter. I love FPS games. I love a game that's got a quicker paced action pace. Even though I'm not great at video games, I still understand my genre, what I love to play. And so when this game was announced, I was fully ready to buy it day one. And then the early reviews came out and it had tons of problems. Now, that is to be expected from a game that's from an indie studio. I am a big proponent of the indie game scene. I love a lot of the indie shooters coming out, and I'm kind of going, I kind of want to be the guy that supports a game that's not going for the retro Doom-like art style, because I feel like there's so much more we can do at this point, and we could push it a little bit further. I feel like a lot of studios, not that it's a bad thing, not that I hate that style, I do feel like a lot of studios are trying to show off their bones in the indie style, and then they go to something like this. So I do have to respect this studio, because it seems like they've always done a more modern style with their games. Well, modern as of a few years ago or something. But one of the big things that really popped out when I first jumped into this game is I picked a character. Because you pick a character right away and it's like, oh, look at all these characters you can pick from. So I picked this one chick. I didn't really like her voice, so I opted out, kicked all the way back to the beginning, picked another chick, jumped in, she had the exact same voice. So I'm thinking here, what was the point of me picking a different character? And that's when I start to realize some patterns with this game. Some things right away that kind of throw me off kilter, you know, just kind of make me take a step back. It seems like, oh, they got you a character creator. Oh, but it doesn't really matter because nothing really matters on that part. It was just a cool idea we threw in. Oh, we got a grappling hook. Well, it works sometimes. I felt like when I used the grappling hook, I'm trying more to find a use for the grappling hook than it actually being useful. I'm always trying to grapple hook onto stuff, and it just never hooks onto things until it wants to hook onto things. So I'm like, oh, okay, so the grapple hook is more of a throw in later type of deal instead of it was actually used for functionality. Okay. Oh, it's got looting shooting mechanics. Okay, so it's going to be like Borderlands. No, it's just got some loot boxes here, and then every once in a while you get a new gun. And it's rare that you find a loot box. Okay. So then it's got fast movement and stuff. So it's, oh, so you want to be a Doom Eternal-like game. You want to be a movement shooter. Well, maybe you should hang back at the beginning of the level, snipe in, just kind of be a normal shooter. See, that's the problem with this game. It has so many ideas, so many different things that it puts you on pause. You know, you get in this moment, you step back, and you have to pause the game to just like kind of figure out, okay, what are we doing in this section? Am I gonna play it like a older FPS, or am I gonna play it like a newer FPS? Because only one of them is viable for this, and I don't know the game doesn't know what it wants me to do. I don't know what I want to fucking do. So you just kind of do it. And I love and hate that. Because, like, one of my favorite games of all time is Shadow Warrior, number 1. And Shadow Warrior 2 is Shadow Warrior is one of my favorite series. And I feel like this game is trying to be both Shadow Warrior 1, 2, and 3 at the same time without flushing out any of them. And That kind of happened to Shadow Warrior 2, where it didn't really know what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a looter shooter, but it didn't have like a gun loot system like Borderlands, so it kind of put itself in this weird UI nightmare of a game, but it ended up working at the end of it. With this game, it's working, but not working well. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I'll be going through a mission, having fun, loving the art design, because this studio, I don't know what other games they've made. I know it's all 40K, Warhammer 40K stuff, but they know Warhammer 40K. You can feel the weapon designs, the level design, the enemies, everything oozes love for this IP. It's just when it comes to what this game wants to be mechanically is the problem. Because the core shooting and movement are sound. The jumping and the boosting and the dodging, that works. The wall running, tacked on after the fact. It's like they played Titanfall 2, said, oh, this is cool, let's put it in our game. And then haphazardly put it in where it works sometimes. They have a double jump. The double jump works great. We could have just stuck with the double jump, but the double jump will accidentally jump you into a wall run. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, they add a grappling hook into it. Okay, but the grappling hook doesn't work great. So you're looking at all of these things that are just kind of tacked onto a decent momentum thing because other games are doing it. And they're like, well, if they're doing it and they're successful, we got to put it in our game because it'll make our game successful. And that's not how it works. You got to flesh these things out. Not that this game, to its credit, doesn't have moments of greatness. It has moments where it's balls to the walls fun. And where you're moving around, shooting things. And it's mostly when you're fighting the normal enemies. Because I have to say, when these bigger enemies jump in, they get so spongy that at one point I turned the difficulty down to see if it would make the game like more fluid. And the enemies don't really get much less spongy. You feel like you're constantly dumping all your ammo into one of the big enemies at a time. And it bogs the game down, which sucks because, like, when you're in the cool fights reign true. They are badass. But you never really get to fully enjoy anything because of some of the stuff standing in your way. Now, would I still pick this game up? Right now I would, because I know on PlayStation where I got it, it's like $13. This is definitely worth $13, even though on occasion it will crash. And I know that I put a bunch of negative your direction, but the sheer love for the IP here really shines, and the guns feel good. It's fun to play this game. It's one, drop it down to easy, run through it on a few days after work, turn your brain off, listen to a podcast, skip through the dialogue for the most part because it gets really boring and the voice acting's not great, and the cutscenes, there really aren't cutscenes, so most of the time you're just filtering through dialogue, and it's not like Fallout dialogue, so it's more just filtering through. Basically, I'm harping on the game again. But I want to say that the combat's fun enough and the set pieces are good enough that you should pick this game up, especially for like $13 or less. Pick it up on your sale page. It's worth it. I had a good time with it. Was it ball pulling, nuts, hair, juicing, cum dripping fun? No. It was more you got a decent chub and you had a good time with it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. Leave a comment and leave a like. And until next time, stay idiots.